Hello, welcome to another weekly video. Today I'm going to be talking about when you know better, you do better. And bear with me because I might have some venting in this one. I've gone through a lot of things that um, kind of make this a sensitive topic, if you want to put it that way. So I have a lot of frustration when I really think about it. But um, I guess I'll kind of start with the things I've ran into, I guess, in the last 5 or 10 years, and sometimes when I was younger too. I just I felt like between like my friends and the people I've known and Facebook groups and a lot of, I want to say, younger people. I guess I'll say from like the millennials and younger. There's kind of a collective feeling that I feel like is well, I mean, I know not everybody feels this way, but it seems like a lot of people, younger people, kind of feel like there's this generational trauma that's been passed down to all of us. Um, there's kind of this, like I was saying, collective like feeling of trying to stop trauma from being passed down. I don't know if it's the knowledge that a lot of us have gained. Being younger and you know I can't speak for how all this knowledge came about. You know it just seems like there's a lot more knowledge on mental health and trauma and signs that abuse is happening, things like that, things that just weren't known with the previous generation. And when I say previous generation, I'm mostly talking about the boomer generation. um, in the Facebook groups I'm in, I've talked about it a little bit before, but um, I'm in these groups. Basically, um, they're children of, um, well, basically narcissistic parents, and it doesn't have to be a narcissist for you to have a difficult parent, but in these groups that I'm in, there's been a lot of polls, um, like um trying to figure out what ages people's parents are. Um, and most people in these groups, their parents are from the boomer generation. So that's why I'm focusing on that generation specifically. And for myself, I've had a lot of pain from that generation. I don't know. I don't know the details of all that, but like I said, it tends to be a lot more knowledge about things now in the newer generations from the millennials and on. There's just a lot of talk about abuse, a lot of awareness, a lot of um, information that didn't used to be there. For example, I remember there were things that I would do as a child that there was an indication of some kind of abuse going on, but my parents just didn't know that that's what it meant. That, and now I guess with the internet we have a whole lot of more information about the signs of what a child is showing, that may mean abuse and things like that. So um, anyway, to get more to the point of, like I said, when you know better, you do better. In these groups, a lot of people have this complaint of like boomers seem to have this attitude of like you can't really, um, I'm paraphrasing it. I've seen like some memes pass around, but it's kind of like, they'll kind of say things like, "Well, you can't blame our parents. I mean, you can't blame your parents. We did the best we could." Um, and I just I have issues with the whole statement. We did the best we could. don't get me wrong, I kind of understand where they're coming from with that. I feel that about myself. I've done the best I can, and um, often I don't feel like it's good enough. But um, coming from more like a God standpoint, um, like I feel like God understands that we did the best we could, but like it doesn't really mean that like we can't get the information that we need now. And I can't speak for every boomer parent or boomer person, but um, there just seems to be um, a lot of complaints in the groups that I'm in that like it's just kind of like, well, the boomers don't take any responsibility, and they just leave it as we did the best we can, let it go. But I feel like the problem is, or the problem with that kind of attitude and mentality is just it feels like they're saying that like there's nothing there's nothing they can do now, and so I think that's what I tend to talk about, when people are talking about that kind of stuff. My main complaint is, you know, yes, you did the best you could, but that doesn't mean that you can't change something now. And I tend to think that that's how God feels like. Um, you messed up, yeah, but you can do something different now. If there's a complaint of, well, we didn't know any better, we didn't have the information, it's not really, you can't keep saying that now because the information is there. But if I speak for what I've seen in my own mother's life, it seems like even though the information is there, they just seem to get to a point where like they're not receptive to information anymore. And I don't think it's really a purposeful thing. Um, I mean, I just kind of look at it like once you get to a certain age, your mind does seem to um, function differently. Excuse me. And I think that there are some studies on that where, as you get older, your brain does function differently. Um, Sorry, I can't remember the words. There's terms for it. There's certain types of memory changes and things like that as you get older. So I kind of just look at it like that. But but the problem is when you're trying to share information to that generation, a lot of times the way they respond is really hurtful. And like I said, I think that they just can't understand the new ideas because of their age and I guess getting stuck in their ways, stuff like that. But um, it'll kind of present itself like the person just isn't listening to you. They'll kind of say things that go back to their mentality over and over, no matter what you say. Um, for example, when I was living at home with my mother, um, me and my sister pretty much knew that she had bipolar. It really wasn't any question about it, but she just couldn't couldn't accept that idea. And I mean, you don't come out and tell somebody directly that they have bipolar. I think, well, my sister tried more than me to try to talk to her about it and tell her, um, there's some behavior that might be consistent with bipolar and things like that. I remember hearing them have some kind of discussions about it, but I just remember my mother was very resistant to it. I guess she was, I mean, she grew up at a time where there just wasn't really any talk about mental health, bipolar, any of this. There wasn't any awareness about it, so it just seemed like she was stuck thinking that she just did not have it, and about the time that I was leaving home, she seemed to become more receptive to it, but you kind of had to, well, not me, but my sister had to, um, kind of tell her in backwards ways. Like she gave her a book to read about bipolar, and just, I mean, it's sad to say, kind of just had to hint at things, but she seemed a little bit more receptive to it. I don't know if she could ever admit that she had bipolar. I don't picture that just because, like I said, at the age she's at now, she's 70 and she's pretty much set on her ideas and her ways. Now, don't get me wrong, not everybody's like that from the boomer generation. So I'm not trying to say one way or another, but I'm just trying to speak for a lot of people that I just hear. I hear so much pain when people talk about um, the the trauma that came down from the boomers specifically. Um, and like I said, majority of people in the groups that I'm in, with I guess abusive parents, it is the boomers, and they all kind of have the same mentality. So that's all I'm trying to talk about. Like just that, uh, if you want to, and again, I guess it's really for everybody. It's not necessarily for the boomers. It just happens to be something that I see quite often. But really, when I think about it, everybody fall under that same idea from God. When you know better, you do better, and you are required to do better when you have the knowledge. Um, it's going to be consequences if you get the information and you don't act on it. Um, and I know there's some debate on, you know, if a person understands it, and are they really getting the information or not? Because when you talk to them, you'll probably see what I mean when it feels like they not. It doesn't even feel like they're actually getting the information. It kind of looks like it goes in one ear out the other. So um, I guess I'm just saying for all people, we need to try to do better with information when we get it and be more receptive to things. um because it's actually caused a lot of hurt, um to first of all be abused by parents, and then try to talk to them about it and make them aware, and they just become a brick wall. I mean, that just makes it that much worse, and that's what I run into when I hear stories from people. And I hear about this a lot with younger people just struggling to handle what the parents have done. But anyway, I'm not going to go on anymore about it. I just kind of, you know, leave it at that. When you know better, you do better. Try to do better, that kind of thing. Um, but anyway, thank you for watching and have a nice day.